Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Well, good morning, and thank you very much for sticking around to Good Morning Uganda. We have a huge conversation coming up here, and this very morning it's an interesting one, simply because we're going to turn our attention on to vehicle registration, but pretty much focusing on the digital number plates. I think that has been a conversation that very many of the Ugandans have been following up, especially on social media, and in most cases, some of the government vehicles have the digital number plates with them. And that conversation is what we're going to be having, trying to understand the present and the future of the digital number plates case here in Uganda, and then also trying to see the future of digitalizing Uganda, whether it's worth it or not, and why you need to have that digital number plate once the mass enrollment kicks off in regards to the digital number plates. And to you, our dear viewer, you can as well be sharing with us what you think or your opinion on the same topic of discussion that we're going to be having this time around. And my guest this morning, I do have the Publicity Secretary, Associated Motor Dealers, Ayebale Marvin, who does join us this morning. He's on my extreme left. A very good morning, Marvin, and thank you for joining us.
Joram, it's always nice to be hosted by you. I hope it's well at UBC.
Yes.
Thank you for giving us the privilege to talk to our viewers. And well, let's see how it goes with our company for digital number plates.
And well, of course, now Galina, who does join us this morning. Now, Galina is the head of communications at the joint stock company Global Security, who are responsible for issuing out these digital number plates, and I will stand to be corrected on the matters to do with their mandate or their role in this entire conversation of the digital number plates. A very good morning, Galina. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. I'm very happy that you invited us to talk about the digital number plates. I hope we will be able to cover some of the issues which were not covered before.
Okay.
So.
All
We're
right.
ready to start, I think.
And allow me, if I, because I want my viewer to fully understand, what does the joint stock company do in regards to the digital number plates? Like, what is your role in this entire conversation?
Actually, we are the ones who are doing the digital number plates and the whole ITMS project.
Okay.
I can talk about it forever, but actually it's very important to understand this ITMS project, which we all are talking about, is much, much more than just digital number plates. I keep repeating it all the time. It's not just number plates, it's a complicated road safety and security system.
Okay.
It includes cameras, it includes high-end technology, analyzing system, and digital number plates and their digital components is just a small part of a big, big project.
Okay, and then I'm going to turn my attention to, before I get to Marvin real fast, I need to know, Galina, when you look at the issue of the number plates, what are some of those key concerns that have been raised by the Ugandans so far?
The major issue is the issue of personal privacy.
Okay.
People do not really understand how the system works, and it looks like a lot of citizens believe that these new digital number plates will help police or government or probably even some criminals to trace all their daily activities.
Okay.
And of course, it bothers people. It's not true. I will have time, I'll explain why it is not true, because access to the system is extremely limited, and all the people who have it are double and triple checked. But it's one of the major concerns. The other is constant delays of the project. So I think at some point people started believing that it will never happen because it's one delay, second delay. But it's also not true. Right now we are extremely ready for implementation.
Okay.
And I can assure that on November the 1st we'll start.
Well, November the 1st is when we will be expecting the installation of these particular number plates on Ugandan vehicles. Like I did mention, we do have some government vehicles that already have these number plates installed on them. Now, when you look at this particular digital number plate, issue, it's part of a 10-year plan by the government of Uganda to ensure that these plates, which will be featuring, or which are featuring digital tracking chips that will help in crime and also improve on the security, you get to realize that it's something that the government is trying to set out. One, to protect you as a car owner, and then as well as any other related issues in regards to security and something to do with losing property while driving or as you are moving on the way. And then for the other details that we don't know so far is that to get one, vehicle owners will need to pay at least 714,300 Ugandan shillings, which will also include the cost of the plate and its installation, as of the details we do have so far. But going into the other conversation, also to pretty much get my other guest, Marvin Ayebare, into context with what we are discussing. Marvin, from the side of the car dealers, what are some of the issues that have been raised so far by the Ugandan vehicle owners in regards to the digital number plates?
Oh, Joram, thank you again for the opportunity. My name is Marvin Ayebare. I am the Publicity Secretary for the Associated Motor Dealers. And to our viewers, a good morning to you all.
Okay.
When this idea was first brought to the fore, the government made it clear that security is a primary concern. And for us, it remains within our priority that yes, because security concerns you and me.
Yes.
It concerns us all. So we've expressed our passion and our determination to work with government on this project. So I must, first of all, want to make it very categorically clear that yes, we understand the security component of the project, okay, and we as car dealers and maybe car consumers, we are with the government in that line. About joint stock company global security. Actually, it's my first time to be with Madame Galina here on public interaction.
Okay.
We actually, as car dealers, have never had the opportunity
to have an
interact with the contractor who is going to have a direct impact in our business. And as public opinion is that we've had a number of investors who have come into Uganda, okay, and have left sour taste in the mouth of Ugandans. They come, they promise all these heavens on earth, and well, we all know what happens eventually. So again, with the particular investor for this project, a lot has been shrouded in mystery. We do not know who this company is. Mm-hmm. A quick search on the internet will give you very little results.
Okay.
Albeit not the very best of results. That's my place to to speak about. Mm-hmm. Now that we have Galina here,
and she's the head of communication.
And she's the head of communication. Mm-hmm. So Galina, I think let me first put this to you: who is Joint Stock Company Global Security? Do you have previous experience managing a project of this magnitude? Could you tell us which countries you've worked in and what you've done and your capacity in those countries,
this
the
is implementation to try and understand how.
Yes, we want to understand who is this service provider that's coming to take over this national operation in Uganda.
Okay. And Galina, I want you to take on from there, but also on top of it, if you're to give us, as you're giving us, the experience and where you've worked from and what the company does in general, we also need to understand what the Intelligence Transport Management System is all about.
Intelligent Transport Monitoring System.
Monitoring System.
Yes.
Okay.
It's one of the projects of our company.
Okay.
Okay, let's begin from the basics. What GS is, Global Security. What we are doing, Marvin's, for you, for the people of Uganda. Actually, Ugandan project is not even the biggest one we are into, but definitely one of the most interesting projects. We started in Russia, of course, because we are originally a Russian company, and of course we started our operations in Russia. equipping some of the, we started with the cities, let's say it like this. Our first operations were not country, but citywide. And we started with the installation of the security cameras on the roads and on the, how do you say, specially protected areas. Then it turned out that we started developing extensive video analytics system, which includes artificial intelligence, which includes computer to analyze traffic, to analyze people's behavior on the street. Then we went to the countries of ex-USSR.
Okay.
And then one of our biggest projects was the World Football Championships in Qatar, where our company was responsible for all the security. And I think it was quite a challenge. And actually, we succeeded. For now, we are working on the grand project in the country of Kazakhstan.
Okay.
It's a part of it is ITMS, which is like in Uganda, but our Kazakh project is a bit bigger, and the scale is larger because we are introducing electronic government there. So yes, we have some of the experience. We know what we do. And for ITMS, as I've said, it's Intelligent Transport Monitoring System. And this is which consists of these cameras which are on the road, of the system which analyzes data and helps police. For example, face recognition features, traffic flow analyze features, automatic fines issues system, which is very important, and number plates is just one part of it. The system works with all the vehicles, regardless if they have digital number plates or not. But with the digital number plates, it gives more opportunities to solve crimes and to prevent crimes.
Let me put it on the side of the consumer. As a person who is driving on the road, what features, what special features, because we hear of these digital number plates coming with special features on them that are quite different from the ordinary number plates that we know.
That's true.
So what features are we expecting to have on these digital number plates? And then also, is there an element of privacy for a car owner once they've given their details to you as a company that is going to be installing these digital number plates?
Joram, I think let me help rephrase your question. Now that we have the opportunity to get straight from a person at the source, maybe Galina, could you help us understand how this digital number plate works? I think let's just rephrase it that way.
So that we start with
understand how it works, then we get into the futures of it.
Okay. This digital number plates consists of three major components, which is the plate itself. It was seen there at the screen, I've seen it. It is the beacon, which is attached to the plate itself. Each plate, there are two plates, two beacons. And there is a tracker device, which is located somewhere in the car. We can't give this information. It's a security issue, and it won't be revealed to public.
Okay.
So the process of installation will be different from what is happening now. The car will be taken to a special installation point. No driver, no owner is there at the moment.
Okay.
The trained team is going to install the plate and the components. And after that, the car will be given back to the owner. That's the plate.
Okay.
It's a part of the process of installation.
How long is that?
20 minutes for one vehicle.
Okay.
Right now, for some vehicles, it might take longer, especially for the old ones, when the metal is somehow damaged, and it will take our team some more time to work on it. But actually, the average time, which we are counting on and which we've proven is worthy, is 20 minutes. So after that, the car is given back to the owner. The key point is that if something happens to the number plates, if it's being removed, for example, the signal will go to police. It won't go here. It won't go to company. It will go to police. And there is special procedure on how to react. If it's tampering effort, police will react one way. But if it's, for example, car accident or something like that, the owner will have to call or text or somehow inform the Ministry of Works, different ways of informing, and the reinstallation will be scheduled for this owner. Nothing will happen to him, he won't be prosecuted or whatever, but he must inform the government himself. Because,
Galina, that point I wanted to know is, what is the role of the government in this entire digitalization? Now, because you're coming in as the installing partner, but then again, the government is taking the bigger picture at the end of it all. Now, if you can't break it down for my viewer to fully understand as well, where does your role stop and where does the government pick up?
We are bringing money and technology. The rest is for the government. And to be in detail, we are bringing technology and we are bringing people to train locals to operate with the system. As far as I think everybody knows that in 10 years the system and the capacities and the factory, everything will be handled to the government of Uganda completely and will leave. But by this time, we need to operate the system, we need to teach how to operate the system. We improve the system because like each software, it needs improvement and we work on it every day. So right now we are bringing money. I have to note it again. Right now, government of Uganda is paying us zero. It's just zero. No one is taking money from Uganda right now. It's all on the expenses of the investors, of us. We are not gaining profit from it now. We'll start gaining profit only after the project starts in full scale. And it won't be money from the government. Right now, we're just investing.
Okay. Marvin, let me bring you into this conversation now. From the side of the car dealers, again, there are lots of concerns, and you've shared some, and I believe they're not the only ones that you're currently having. From the side of the car dealers, do you look at this as a viable move by the government? Or you think it is viable, but there's something else that needs to be done for more improvement?
Right. Thank you again, Joram. Well, what I've understood from Galina's submission is that Joint Stock Global Security actually is doing this project in Russia and Kazakhstan, and so we would like
part of that in Qatar
and other countries which she didn't mention, but well, let's
maybe
next time
Qatar.
she'll have more time to mention them.
No, we're global security.
Global security, right. I would have loved you to mention those countries.
Company, global security.
So sometimes we can't reveal the places where we work.
Or you can't reveal where you work, yeah. Before I answer your question, Joram, and this is leading up to where the country is at the moment. I would like to understand from Galina.
Yes.
Galina, I would like to understand from Galina, what is your current operational capacity in Uganda? Because that you also haven't shared with us what you're able to do to satisfy the current demand before we can share opinion as to whether we think it's viable or it's not viable.
The question is, let's divide it into several parts.
Right.
Let's start with the hardware, with the number plates themselves, because we met here because of the number plate crisis.
Right, the number plate crisis.
And as far as I understand, the reason we're here is that we announced that we are ready to save the day. So let's talk about the capacity. I'm not sure if you know it, but I'll highlight it again. Right now we have a factory, number plate producing factory here in Kampala.
Okay.
And we have a stock of already ready number plates, already made number plates here in Kampala. And for the number plates, right now we have the stock enough to cover from 2.5 to 3 months of the country operations. But even if we had two, it really doesn't matter. Even if we had two number plates, it doesn't matter, because for today, the capacity of the factory is 2,500 sets of number plates per day, and it can be increased, only putting new shift online, it can be increased up to 5,000. So we are able to cover all the country needs for the number plates. And that's why we are here talking about our capacity.
You have the capacity. And I don't know if in the conversations you've had with the government, by the way, also, how are you going to transition, from the traditional number plates? What plans do you have in order to have a smooth transition from the traditional number plates to the digital number plates?
Sure. The process is already worked in, and everyone is satisfied on the government side, and we are satisfied with this. We are starting November the 1st with first-time registrations of the motorcycles. So new motorcycles and newly imported motorcycles. By January the 1st, we are adding new vehicles, cars. It's for you.
Right.
And we'll have, so since January the 1st, no new vehicle and no new imported vehicle, either a car or a motorcycle, will be registered on the old number plates. It will be obligatory to use the new ones. And for the other cars, people will have 2 years to replace them voluntarily.
Okay. And
Joram, I don't know. I would like more clarity from Galina on that point. Galina, you have mentioned that you take 20 minutes to install on one vehicle. Could you also shed clarity as to your human resource capacity? Why? Because
you mentioned many of them are non-Ugandan.
And let's put numbers to this, because
Okay,
I'd want us to understand each other better. Uganda, at the moment, we release 500 motorcycles are registered per day, and 200 motor vehicles are registered per day. Okay. Well, this number, these are statistics from your area, will translate to about 15,000 motorcycles per month, and maybe about 5,500 motor vehicles, yes, per month.
Motorcycles.
Yes, but what I would, and from Galina's submission, we're saying that November 1st, we start all motorcycles,
Yes.
that's the 500, and in January, we start all motor vehicles, that's the 200. So that's 700 units that need to be installed per day. Okay. Now, if quick math, if you're to say 700 units divide by 20 minutes, you need about 35 hours of installation. So I wanted to first understand from Galina the human resource capacity you have to do the installation. Could you shed some more light on that at this point in time? Right.
Happy to. Actually, when I was talking about 20 minutes, I was talking about the car.
Okay.
For motorcycles, the process is a bit different. And when you're talking about the numbers of the motorcycles per day, let's focus that the majority of those motorcycles are niche auto. And for the niche auto, we've come up with a special procedure in which where actually our installers are going to be a part of production line of the niche auto.
Okay.
And for this, it will take 2 minutes per one motorcycle. This system was tested and worked with the niche engineers, and our engineers and their engineer, they've come to a solution which satisfies both parties. because actually they were concerned that we won't be able to fit into their production schedule. And it's one motorcycle per minute.
Okay.
So we had to spend some time working together on this issue to fit in. And now the majority of the motorcycles will be installed in the process of production, actually. So the team of, I don't remember, I think it's all 12 or 14 people per shift.
Okay.
On niche auto, will be able to cover 500 motorcycles
Per day.
per day.
Okay.
And for the rest, for cars and for public, whatever, right now we have the team of 72 installers. One installation team consists of 2 people. So let's say 140 teams can be 36 teams can be deployed to different installation points, and each team does 1 car in 20 minutes. As you can see, we are capable enough.
And Galena, I don't want to sound as a pessimist in this situation, but I wonder, what if we have any technical glitches in, you know, as we are doing the installation, because you've talked about the numbers of people that will be taking, you know, charge of the installing of these digital number plates on the vehicles and motorcycles, then one would wonder if in case we have, you know, this technology glitches, how are you going to be able to address? Have you set out, you know, the facilities to make sure that you can address any potential glitches that will put one's privacy at risk?
Yes, for the facilities, right now we are starting with temporary facilities at some selected ones in Kampala.
Okay.
And we have 2 buildings, 2 big installation centers, which are located at Malaba and Mutukula.
Okay.
Border points. So, and of course, we have big installation center in Kawempe, in Kampala. So yes, if something goes wrong, of course, we have places where we locate. It's not just people running around Kampala and installing number plates. It doesn't work like that.
Okay.
And talking about people, I just want to mention it because I think it's important. For now, we have about 130 local people as members of our staff, as members of our team. And they are highly capable of doing their job. We're really proud that these people joined us. But by the end of the year, as the project expands, we are planning to hire up to 1,000 people.
Okay.
So as the more we expand, the more people will be involved in the project.
Okay, and Marvin, I do know you do have a question for Galena, but before we get into your question that you have for Galena, I need to hear from your side of the car dealers per se on you know, what issues do you feel need to be focused on to make work more smoother for you, so that you can easily know that you're also involved in this entire digital number plate saga?
Right, thank you again, Joram. As I said before, we had not had the opportunity to interact with the digital number plate service provider. And for me, I'm getting answers this is the first time I'm getting answers similar to you and our viewers here. Okay. And I think most...
That's why you have questions and questions.
That's why I have a lot of questions. But I think what's most important, firstly, above all else, is that Galena, I think, sorry, I need to get the name. Galena has confirmed to us that the service provider has the capacity to handle the current demand. As I explained to you, we have 500 motorcycles coming out daily, which is 15,000 motorcycles per month, and about 200 vehicles which need registration daily, and that's about 5,500 per month. Now, the pertinent issue that brings us here today is, and I don't know if you're aware, Joram, or our viewers, but the country is in a national crisis. We have not had any number plates since the 26th of August last month. That
Yet
is
in November, we
about,
expect installation to
and I'm coming to that, and that's about 2 weeks of business standstill. Now, allow me to take you back a bit on the genesis of digital number plates, right? The proposed implementation and rollout date for these digital number plates was on the 1st of July 2023.
Yes.
Right. I think 2 or 3 days before that, we were called for an emergency meeting as car dealers at the Sendaula Hall in URA.
Yes, we're following up with that.
Right. Yeah. And
That's
well.
actually when we first met.
Oh yeah, we actually I think we met, but we never really got to talk. And what was, of course, at that point, we were told that the service provider isn't ready. We expressed our sentiments, and above all, we shared proposals on a deemable way forward.
Okay.
What was, and I'm glad that they took it up, because we advised government that looking at the way things are moving, can you start with implementation on government vehicles first? Let the service provider test the waters, understand with government vehicles, and then eventually we can have a mass rollout to private.
And we had government vehicles having.
Right.
Because every
now I'm coming to that, Joram. I'm coming to that, Joram. Now, since July 1st, 2023, to date, this is 1 year, 2 months, and 6 days.
Later.
Okay. Later. In total, 365 days plus 31 plus 6, that's about 433 days later.
That we are counting.
That we are counting from 1st July 2023. According to statistics that were shared by the Minister of Security, that is Honorable Jim Muhwezi, on July 5th of this year, our contractor here has only managed to install 1,091 vehicles in the last 433 days, which represents only 4.3%
of the capacity.
No, Joram, do not interrupt me.
Oh, okay.
Which represents 4.3% of 25,265 vehicles belonging to 11 government MDAs. Let me be very clear. For the last 433 days, the service provider has installed 1,091 vehicles, which represents 4.3% of 25,265 vehicles belonging to 11 MDAs of the government of Uganda. Let me also share with our viewers, according to the Ministry of Public Service website, there are a total of 242 MDAs and local governments in Uganda. So if I'm to do quick math, if they have only worked on 11 MDAs, that means they have only, out of the 242 MDAs under the government of Uganda, our service provider has only worked on 4.5% of government
I need to hear from Galena.
Hold on. I'm losing my track of thoughts.
Yes.
I need to complete my point, Joram.
I need to hear from Galena. Why we are short of those
Joram, I don't
numbers.
think this is being fair to me, because I really wanted to complete my point.
Yes, I'm getting back to you, Marvin. Galena, on that point of the numbers, why do we have, why do we have less numbers of vehicles having these digital number plates of the expected number?
You see, I think there is, I'm not the person to answer.
Okay.
We've installed all the government vehicles which were provided to us. And that's the key point. We have the capacity, we had the capacity of installing 200 government vehicles per day. And the teams were always there expecting for the cars to come. But due to some intergovernmental challenges, and I'm afraid to say the lack of communication between MDs, we were always in shortage of number plates.
Okay.
No, number plates, of the cars, to put the number plates on.
The number plates were there.
The number plates were there, the people were there, the trackers and components were there.
Okay.
And actually the teams were on duty at the Ministry of Works garage every day, waiting for the vehicles to come. But I'm not putting blames. We're service providers.
Yes.
But we were provided with 1,093 actually vehicles, and we've installed all of them.
Okay.
We are
And there's, the issue-
we're constantly asking for more.
Vehicles to come.
Yes.
Meaning the issue to do with you know, shortage of number plates hasn't affected you at all.
No. Our warehouse is full of the sets of number plates.
Okay.
I'm not sure, is it possible, maybe after we have to commercial or something, I will ask to show the picture of the warehouse.
Of how it looks like.
Yeah.
I think my producer will be showing us the video of or the picture and image of the warehouse, so that my viewer this morning can easily know how the warehouse does look like, so that you get in context with our conversation this morning. Because according to Galina, they do have the capacity and they still have the number plates. Now let me get back to Marvin. Marvin this morning has got so many issues, because for Marvin, who comes in from the side of the car dealers, like he did mention earlier, he feels that they need to be heard. And on their side as the car dealers, simply because they are the majority, or they are part of the major stakeholders in the entire car industry, because as the car dealers, obviously, they are the ones responsible for importing, meaning they are the major stakeholders. Government comes in as the regulator of the entire process. And when it comes to the issue of the number plates, and just like Marvin has shared with us today, is that a month ago, they've run out of number plates, the ordinary number plates, not the digital ones that will be rolled out or installed as of November this very year. And when it comes to the installation, that is also a year after we had been promised to have the installation going on. But there are so many concerns for, you know, for the car dealers in regards to the digital number plates. And when you look at the concerns, many of which are even more questions that Marvin is sharing with us this very morning. And on that same spot, let me get back to Marvin again. Marvin, you had something you were still asking Galina. I did cut you short at the moment because I wanted to build onto the same conversation to pick up from, so that Galina gets to answer one of the concerns that you had first shared. Now let me get back to you in regards to the other concerns that you have as the car dealers.
Right, Jerome, from where you cut me off, I was still, because my question was directed towards Galina. And again, maybe I will rephrase it. As I was explaining that, based on the statistics that were provided by the Minister of Security, of the 242 MDAs and local governments under the government of Uganda, you have managed to do only 11 MDAs and LGs, which represents a fraction of 4.5%. Now, of those, again, of those 11 MDAs you've done, they have 25,265 vehicles and motorcycles, of which you've only done 1,091, which also represents 4.3%. The reason why we are here now is because, again, as I explained earlier, we have a national crisis. Yes. And allow me to explain to Galina what exactly this entails.
Because my viewer also needs
to understand, really yes, the affected stakeholders by this whole disruption.
And what it means when we have
such a crisis. Now, first of all, I will speak on behalf of the body I represent, and that's the motor vehicle community. For the last 2 weeks, we have not been able to sell any vehicles. Why? Simply because there are no number plates, right?
The traditional ones.
The traditional number plates. And I'm coming to why. Secondly, so basically our livelihood has been put on hold
for the
last 2 weeks at this point in time. And unfortunately, there's no end in sight.
Meaning you're shooting in the third week?
Well, we're waiting. We were promised number plates Tuesday last week, Wednesday last week, and it's now 2 weeks, no number plates.
Was that explanation for why?
And I'm coming to that.
Oh, okay.
Secondly, the clearing fraternity. These are two business communities, because you see, for every vehicle, there's a clearing agent that has to deal on it. Yes. So also that entire industry is currently at a standstill.
Okay.
Our clients, the people we feel for the most in this entire transaction. Someone has paid you their 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 million, 200 million for a vehicle. And you're 2 weeks later, you're still telling them, look, I'm sorry, I'm unable to give you a vehicle. Not my fault, but because the government does not have provision of number plates at this point in time. Actually, we're actually now facing losses because some people are tired of the wait, and someone simply tells you, give me back my money. But remember, you've already paid the taxes to the government. So I don't know, is our next approach now to also go back to the government and say, guys, you know what, this money we gave you, since there is a service disruption, please give us back the money. We send it to the customers and we move forward. Very important to note is that Uganda is a country that's trying to move to self-sustainability, okay? And we've had, I will say it on record, we are the second, if not the first, largest tax-paying entity in the country as motor vehicle dealers. URA collects 3 billion shillings from the motor vehicle industry per day. Mark my words, URA collects 3 billion shillings from motor vehicles alone per day. And that's just taxes. Okay. There is an additional 200 million shillings that's collected every day from motor vehicles as registration fees. Okay? Now, at this point in time, because of this disruption that has been caused, URA is currently collecting 1.5 billion shillings, which means that the government of Uganda, despite our drive to self-sustainability, is currently losing 1.5 billion shillings per day. Now, for the last 2 weeks, Joram, I will tell you authoritatively that the government has lost about 16.5 billion
in taxes.
In taxes.
Simply because of this.
Simply because of a number plates issue. Something very small in a whole value chain. You get the cars from Japan, Dubai, wherever it is, bring them here, Mombasa, everything. But the last part of it is costing this government 16.5 billion. I must also give credit where it's due. We have been engaged by the government through the Ministry of Works. We've had several engagements over the last 2 weeks, and what the Ministry of Works did, especially through the Commissioner, Land Transport, Mr. Winston Katushabe, the idea was to get us all onto a round table for a discussion as regards the future of number plates, okay? And by then, we had representatives from the Ministry of Works, we had the motor vehicle associations, we had the clearing agents associations, we had the motor vehicle, I mean, the current suppliers of number plates and all that. We've agreed to work as a team, you know, talk to the customers. Government is trying to find a solution with the current suppliers and all that. So my question to Galina again is that, do you understand the widespread long-term effect of a disruption in the current number plate system in Uganda? And why am I asking this? Since July 1st, 2023, Joint Stock has asked for 3 extensions in terms of delivery of this digital number plates. The first, I don't know if it's the project or number plates. I'm speaking from the layman's view. As I explained earlier, we've not had a chance to interact. But then, yeah, the first extension they asked for was 1st November 2023. We granted. That is when we had expected. That's when we expected the rollout. We granted that. We talked to our customers. I think the service providers were equipped, and things moved on smoothly. Then they asked for February 2024. Again, February 2024. Nothing has happened. And we've been told now November. Now we've been told again, November to 2024 and July 6th, I think, for motor vehicles. What is so difficult? What would be our suggestion? Because clearly there is a demonstrated failure so far. And I mean, the track record is not good. It speaks for itself. I've started with the numbers that have been done so far. Yes, they have only done 4.3%. Of 4.5% of government agencies. The extensions are very clear. They are printed in black and white. We have suggested, and again we will suggest, that instead of trying this and affecting all the stakeholders I've listed, from the government of Uganda, the ordinary citizen, name it, why don't you start with registered vehicles? Why? Because as a registered vehicle, and I'll explain to you why. If Marvin owns his car, UAA, okay? It is registered. It's already registered. Yes. If there is a delay, I mean, I can contain it. But motor vehicle industry is not being affected. The clearing agencies are not being affected. The government of Uganda, transition. It's a much, much smoother transition. I would like to understand, why do you insist on wanting to start with a place where you have demonstrated, where the demonstrated failure would have much more effect over a wider spectrum of people, and not then start with where it is much easier to contain. And I will refer to what our president said yesterday. I think yesterday he was in a meeting and he said, yeah, I think the Honorable Jim Mwezi confirmed that what exactly Galina is confirming to us, that yes, they are ready. And he said, yeah, well, let's go on. So again, why, my advice and my question is, why don't we start with where there is less impact for the country and avoid a national crisis beyond what we are already currently experiencing? Because that's because you mentioned you're going to start with new vehicles and new motorcycles. That's the genesis of my question, Galina.
Got it. Actually, you've asked two questions during your long and passionate presentation.
Right.
And
It's coming from a point of someone who is dealing with the issue now.
I do understand it, really, because we are facing some, from the first side, unsolvable issues every day, and then we solve. So I do understand how complicated it is when your work and what you are passionate about is stopped by something which is totally beyond your reach. So I do understand you very well. But this is a part of my answer, actually, because I don't know where to start. Why we're starting with the first-time registrations? It's simple.
Okay.
Because this project, first of all, it's not the project of new pre-designed number plates. It's the security project. And the legislation, according to the current legal basis, there is almost no chance of making people re-register and put the new digital number plates if they don't want to. And no one actually, only few people actually want to spend some more money on doing things which is not essential, which is not necessary for now. People do not understand why it is maybe good for them. So, and this project is first of all the security project. And when we are talking of security, the more vehicles are equipped with these new number plates, the faster the security level, the security enhancement level will be reached. And do we all remember that actually all these projects has started with border borders?
Okay.
Marvin, can you imagine border riders voluntarily changing their number plates for money? Just going to Minister of Work saying, take my money and give me the new number plates. I can't really imagine this. And this first-time registration gives the government opportunity to equip the sufficient amount of motorcycles very, very fast. Or the other way is changing legislation, putting fines, but it's much more complicated process which might cause even more disturbance in society. So it's just a fast way of equipping the majority of border borders. First, and then the majority of cars. I keep saying that essentially this project was about the bikes, and cars is the second important part of it. So yes, mostly it's about the speed.
Yeah, but Galina, help me understand. Simple mathematics, Joram, because I don't want Galina to lose her line of thought.
Okay.
Current statistics, and again, I will share. If we're releasing, let me talk about motor vehicles, the entity I represent. If we are releasing 5,500 vehicles per day, and you have 2,145,988 vehicles currently in circulation, who presents more of a security risk? Is it the 5,500 that are coming out, or is it the greater number of cars that are already on the road? That is very, very, very simple mathematics.
To Galina as well, because when you look at the numbers of vehicles we're having currently, and many of them, you will end up even losing track if you come to think of it, because there are quite many already on the market. There are those the government wants to roll out simply because of their manufacturing date, because they're not meeting the standards to be on the road, making it even a big and complex situation. So how then will you deal with that? Because I believe if you start with the new vehicles, it will be easier. But how about the other vehicles that are already being driven for close to 10 years and above?
I would be happy to answer this question, but I'm not sure I can because I'm not a government of Uganda.
True.
And it's a very governmental question.
Okay.
I know that we have 2 years of voluntary reinstallation, but for the rest, I think some sort of enforcement is or will be needed, but I'm actually not capable of answering this. It's totally 100% governmental.
Okay.
They will say, they will guide, and will follow.
Okay, because they are regulating the entire situation. But let me get to Marvin. And Marvin,
I think I have a question that Galina can answer that I want her to answer.
Okay.
From your explanation, Galina, of a digital number plate, I went back to the understanding in English of the word digital, okay? And according to the Cambridge Dictionary, digital means showing information in the form of an electronic image. Let's say like a digital watch. Like my watch will have digits, you know, displayed in a digital manner, you know. Now, can I correctly say that, because before I came here, I wanted to acquaint myself with exactly what our contractor Joint Stock is providing. And you realize even from the images displayed here during this talk show that the number plates that are being supplied by Joint Stock and what GM Tampeco and ABC were supplying, there is no structural difference. They are all plates, number plates on a steel form, in a steel form and whatever. So my first question then was that, okay, if the number plates are the same in form and structure between what Joint Stock is bringing and what the current service provider is bringing, would we be correct to then say that even the current service provider, GM and ABC, also have digital number plates? Because there is nothing. Let me finish.
Yes,
there is nothing different.
Yes, I want you to keep it brief.
You keep distracting my thought, Joram. You know. So is it correct for us to say that even because the structure is the same, that the current number plate is digital, and in that case, then I would ask. My next question was digital just a word play in order to kind of justify, you know, the exorbitant price of 714,000 shillings for a digital number plate? Yes, because the number plate is the same to what we are currently getting at 137,000 shillings. Well, Galina explained to us at the beginning of the show that there are 3 components, a tracker and a beacon. I had read this in the papers from Mr. Honorable Jim's submission at the Media Center, and I quickly went around the market trying to find out, okay, how much are trackers? And they'll tell you it's an average, maybe 200, 300,000 shillings. How much are beacons? I was forced to go all the way up to Alibaba, and you can get them at $1. So for these 3 components, and this has been one of the largest outcries of the public, why are you charging us such an exorbitant fee of 714,000 shillings for an amber plate, which is similar to what we are receiving now, minus the tracker and the beacon, which cost maybe 200,000 shillings and $1, and you're charging us now 714,000 from 137,000. Again, that is a question for Galina to guide us.
Galina, just briefly, as we're trying to beat up with our conversation
now. Again, 2 parts of the answer. First part, you are an auto dealer yourself.
Right.
You know how economics works, right?
Right.
So we're not talking about the physical components of the system, which is tracker, beacons, and the number plate. It's labor, it's development of the software, it's the command center. If it is possible to ask your editor to show the public the screen, the view of the command center. I know it has been shown actually.
And my producer, just quickly, if you can show the viewer the command center of the global security company, where everything is, majorly controlled. Is that it?
No, it's here it is. Yeah. You see, it's the one screenshot of the command center, and as far as you can see, it's not only, as I tell you, the digital number plates or something. It's an amount of cameras all over Kampala. Was as you can see in the upper right corner, with the face recognition feature, was the vehicle monitoring feature, was the crowd monitoring feature, and all this software and hardware and engineers and people who are working on this, it's a part of the price. It's larger than just a piece of metal. Another thing is when we are talking about the price of 714, let's be honest, it's not us who put the price, but I can give a bit of justification. I think people keep forgetting that it's only 714 for the new vehicles and motorcycles, but for the replacement, the prices are totally different. It's only 150 for replacement of the motor vehicles, of the cars.
Meaning the 714 is for the first time installation?
Registration
and
of
installation.
all types of vehicles, including the motorcycles.
Okay.
But for the re-registration, the price is way lower. It's only 150.
Okay.
And for replacement of the motorcycles, it's even lower. It's only $14.
Okay.
So it was not, I mean, keep reading, it's not our idea, but I believe it was a great idea that it's a subsidiary price for the most unprotected parts of the society. We take much less than the tracker and the beacon and the number plate costs for these people.
All right. I'm running short of time, and I want to take your parting shots, the two of you. And I'll start with Marvin. Marvin, in your parting shots, I need to hear a few things from, one, the concerns that you feel need to be addressed immediately from the perspective of the car dealers, and then two, what are some of the things that you feel you're not satisfied with? That is also something you should put in your parting shot. And then also, maybe you can as well give us from your side of things, what do you think has worked out so far? However much you've been sharing the side of things that have not really made a lot of sense to you as car dealers, but briefly.
Again, thank you very much, Joran, for the time. Thank you, the management of UBC. Thank you to our viewers for making the time. Again, if you ask me what I'm not happy with, I think, Joram, you should have given us more time. I think me and Galina have a lot to catch up on. Yeah, but just my parting shots, I think from Galina's last submission, she's denying the price of 714 not being set by her company. I don't know who set it and what research was put into it. But again, I've taken from her last submission, she says that the money goes into investing and the centers and all that. So, so that's why they're charging us that price. So my question would then be, so are you actually investing? Because according to the press, Joint Stock has invested or is supposed to invest $257 million US. My question is, are you actually invested, or is the Ugandan consumer paying for it? Because now we are being forced to pay 714,000 because you have to get that money back. Maybe you should have just given us a loan and we do it. I don't know. I'm not part of the politics of that. Okay. But in summary, what was just our recommendation as car dealers is that I think your track record leaves a lot of doubt and is a bit questionable as to your ability to handle the scale of the project as it is. You seem to have given us assurances at this point in time, but then again, as we did on July 1st, 2023, we will advise you that I think it's much better so as we avoid a catastrophe that would be very hard for the entire country to come back from. Please start with the radio registered vehicles, because what will happen is that once you start with those and you complete them, eventually you will catch up with the brand new vehicles. It will meet at a certain point, other than throwing all of us into this limbo that we currently find ourselves in. But we wish you the best of luck, and on behalf of the car dealers, if you can offer us more time for interaction and to listen to our suggestions or queries about your project, I think it would go a long way in helping you achieve the goals that you've set out to achieve.
Yes, thank you very much, Ayeba Marvin. Now let me lastly get to Galina. Galina, I want your parting shots to also give my viewer, just briefly, the advantages that will come to getting the digital number plates, and then what they should expect in the long run, because we're seeing this as a 10-year kind of project. So we need to know, just give us, we need to create some room for confidence of a viewer and a car consumer or a car owner out there.
Okay, thank you so much. To cut it short, the current benefits we'll have, first, I think it's the solution of the crimes, especially border-associated crimes, because with the new system, it will be 100% easier for the government, for the police to solve the crimes, and the location of the criminals will be detected immediately. It will be easy to associate the current, just random border with the current, which border was at the place. For example, if somebody is stealing your phone from your hand or your bag, and there are no cameras around, which is frequent now in Kampala, the police will be able to find out who was at the moment of the time at the right place and get the thief, for example, or the murderer, whatever. The second thing is this automatic fines issue system will lead to reduction of the traffic violations, which is super important. As far as I know, traffic accidents is one of the major reasons for the death in Uganda. And it's a quite long period of time, but in Russia, for example, it took about 3 years. But in 3 years, that's what I'm saying about the long period, people will start changing behavior on the roads and will be afraid of committing crimes and will be afraid of committing traffic violations, and in general, it will lead to safer Uganda.
Okay.
And for the last thing, about the crisis and our capability of saving it. For now, Uganda is in crisis for the number plates, and it was not us. Let's give us an opportunity to save the day.
Okay.
And we're ready.
All right. And there you have it with our conversation this morning. I've been having Galina, who is the head of communications at the joint stock company Global Security, who are behind this installation that will be kicking off, hopefully, November 1st this very year. And I've also been having Ayebare Mavi. Now, Ayebare is coming in from the Associated Motor Dealers as the publicity secretary. And our conversation this morning has been rotating around the vehicle number plates, or the digital number plates. Is it worth it or not? Please do note that with 714,300 Ugandan shillings, you will be able to register and install a digital number plate. And the hopes at stake are November 1st, 2024 is when we expect the mass installation of the digital number plates. Though it will be starting with the new vehicles, not the old ones already on the market or already on the Ugandan roads. That does it for our conversation this very morning, and thank you very much for being part of Good Morning Uganda and Good Morning Uganda Extra this Friday. I wish you all the best for your day, but keep it on UBC till next week. For Good Morning Uganda, it's a good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Once upon a time, there lived identical twins who gave birth to beautiful princes and princesses.
Their mothers gave their babies' bodies a lot of care by applying on their skin with baby Junior jelly.
So dry-dead chariots and everyone would admire their glowing skin. Fun fact, Baby Junior prevents diaper rash, dry and sensitive skin.
Moms all over Africa love baby Junior jelly. Baby soothes the skin. No more worries anymore. Boo, 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 boo. Baby Junior.
Baby Junior.
Uganda, are you ready to kick things up to the next level? The Uganda National Lottery brings you Sports Take 10. Predict the results of 10 football games and win big. With tickets at only 500 shillings, join the fun and make your predictions count with Sports Take 10. Sports Take 10, your ticket to football glory.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
The East Africa UK Tourism and Culture Expo 2024 is here, happening on 8th and 9th of November 2024 under the theme Enhancing Tourism as Engine for Social and Economic Transformation on the sidelines of WTM London at the Rembrandt Hotel, 11th Thalo, PI South Kensington, London, SW7 2RS, United Kingdom. For tickets, exhibitors will pay £1,000 and participants will pay £300. For more information, call +256 787 096 100 or +254 795 806 969. Visit www.eauktourismexpo.com to register.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels